Hey everyone, just thought I'd throw a quick video together for those who weren't able to make class on Wednesday. So this is a quick tutorial on just how to get things set up for the heavy object lifting assignment. So we're going to start off here, obviously, with your default Norman. And what we're going to do is create an object for him to pick up. In this particular case, the easiest way to go is just to create a sphere and let him pick that up. So I've created a sphere. I'm going to move it out here, let him kind of keep it close to him. And I'm going to make it fairly large, just so that the size also kind of mimics or is a good representation of its weight. Now I'm actually getting the ball about mid-thigh level, and that's just so it's a little easier for him to get underneath the middle of underneath the ball to be able to pick it up. So I'm going to move it out here on the front. And if I go into my channel editor, one of the things you can see here is that these, you can see that all of these translations or transforms have values in them. I've also put two videos up on the Blackboard. And in setting this up, he kind of gets a little complicated. And I think it's really good for what he did or for what he was trying to accomplish. But for our purposes, we can get away with something a lot more simple. One of the things that he was doing, if you noticed, was he was creating a lot of groups. And the reason is because with a ball, you can see that the uh, the pivot point is at the center of the ball. When you create a group, it provides like another transform layer on top of the ball transform layer, which has its own pivot point. So you can move those pivot points around, and depending on the group that you're selecting, you can actually, change how you're going to pivot that object. So in this particular case, what I'm going to do is there's also another benefit of creating groups, but we're going to do that without actually creating groups for this thing. So one of the things before you actually get started, once you've created your ball, it's in place, you have to zero out these values. And the way you do that is go to channels, then go to freeze all. And now you see these go back to the default values. Um, this is because the way we're going to set this up, the ball is going to be driving the hand controls, these guys right up here. And if there's already a transform value in here, then it will, as soon as the ball is connected to the hand controls are going to assume, are basically going to add whatever values are on the ball to whatever current values they already have, which means it's just going to go really wonky on you. So you want to make sure that these are zeroed out on the ball. So now that we're kind of got this set up, I'm just going to do just a quick, um, uh, just a very quick, just a very quick, really rough animation that just kind of walks you through how to do it. So don't pay attention to the pose or anything like that. This isn't an example of how to make something look good. This is just really more of a technical. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually I'm just going to drag my frame to 1, and I'm actually going to turn on auto keyframe. That's that little button down here. And this is so that as soon as I move something, oh, I got to set a key first. So as I move things around, they will start to get keyframed. Um, and so I'm just going to move these guys over. Hopefully I can keep this video short. And again, I'm not going to do a lot of, and as I'm going through, I'm hitting keyframe. So let's see, let's select these in succession, hit the S key for all of those, bend over like this a little bit. Um, and now what I can do is actually move these hands in, and I'll just rotate them. time-consuming process here. Okay, again, not great. And I went in and I set these keyframes so now that now as I start to move them around, they'll maintain there. Okay, so now I've kind of got the initial pose, and I'd really like for you to put a lot more into the effort than what I'm demonstrating here. Again, this is really more just to show how to connect the hands to the ball. So let's just say at frame 1, he's ready to pick it up, and then at frame 10, he's actually going to do the pickup. So and let's just move him down like this. Okay. Okay, so now he's ready to pick the ball up. So at this point, this is where you want to uh, set the controls up between the ball and the arm controls here. So now that we're kind of at that point where we're ready to take it to the next step, what I want you to do is select the ball, then select your hand control. It doesn't matter which one you do first, and then go to modeling and change it to rigging. So you're getting a little extra value for this class. Not only do you get animation, you get a little bit of rigging. So go up and click on constrain, then click parent, well, actually, instead of clicking parent, click the parent option box there. Make sure maintain offset is clicked. Make sure, I think everything else should be left alone up here. Make sure translate is set to check and rotate is set to check. Then click add. So now when you select the hand control, you're going to have this new channel down here, which is blend parent. If you go over to the other one, which I haven't set up yet, you see the last one is pin. It doesn't have that blend parent in there yet. So what we're going to do now is actually just go through and do the exact same thing for the other hand. Constrain, and I know they're all the same, so I can just click parent, and I can see blend parent on there now. So what did we just do? So what we basically did was create a constraint between the ball and the hand controls, whereas the ball is now the parent of these two controls. What that allows us to do is move the ball and the hands go with it. So the problem with this obviously is that if I scroll back, now my keyframes are screwed up because the hands are always trying to reach for the ball. So I'm going to go back to 10, and I'm actually going to set a keyframe for that. And for the hand controls, you'll notice that even though they have a keyframe on frame 10, the blend parent doesn't because it didn't exist until after we had already set the keyframes. So we need to go in, right click, and say key selected. Now you can see that that's red, and we'll do the same thing with the other one. Select it, right click, and click on key selected. Now what we can do is go back one frame, and you can actually do this both at the same time. So I'm going to select both hand controls, blend parent, right click, key selected. But now I'm going to set this value to 0, and you're going to see the hands here pop a little bit. Pop. So what I did was I've disabled that parent constraint. So now the animation works exactly the way it should. The only difference is now the ball becomes the parent only at frame 10. So now let's just say at frame 15, I want to have the guy actually like lifting the ball. So I'm going to actually lift back a little bit like this. And you can see since the ball is now the parent at frame 15, you can see the hands are constantly trying to reach for the ball, and that's okay. So then I'm going to go in here, select these guys. All right. And again, you're just kind of, you want to make sure that you um, pay attention to, line of action here. So then I'm just going to move the ball up until the arms bend a little bit, and then I'm just going to straighten them out because this ball is heavy. And I can actually rotate the ball and the hands kind of go with it. Okay. So now what I've got here, so this is a very simple process to go through. Hopefully this video helps you getting everything set up. If you want to have him drop the ball or whatever you want, then you would basically just go back in, like say if I wanted him to drop the ball at frame 20, then I can actually just go in and set these keyframes again so that they're back to 0, and then I can animate he and the ball separately. So in any case, I hope this helps out. Good luck with your homework. Don't forget finals are coming up. You've got like 2 weeks. Don't skip the process, right? If you skip the process, you know it's not going to turn out well. So in any case, good luck with your homework. Good luck with your finals. And if you need anything, send me an email. Thanks, guys. Bye.